Ready for stop motion with our slider system? What we need now additionally to our slider is a supported camera for the software we use, an adapter which enables the connection between the software and the slider, and of course a laptop with a Dragonframe software. First, we need to change our cable setup. On the motor we switch the plugged-in cable and put in a new one, which is later connected with the adapter. Also the cable at the bullhead gets switched. The camera gets connected via USB and later with the laptop. Now we plug in the new patch cable in our Dragonframe adapter and connect it via USB to the laptop. Same with a USB from the camera. When everything is connected, we can start with the software itself. You are going to see if the camera is connected just in the center of the screen. Before we really start working with Dragonframe, we first switch to the cinematography workspace. Every workspace has its own icon, just in the upper right corner. Here you can see the live view of your camera. Underneath it you can find some helpful tools to check your lighting or focus. Here you can check if the right spot of your picture is in focus. Also you have a black and white mode and a clipping mode. On the right side you can find some control panels. These help you to control the camera settings and check the picture quality, for example. The first panel shows the image info, so information about the picture like the histogram. And the camera settings panel, which is the most important one, you can control the settings for your camera and take the test shots to see your pictures in high quality instead of the live view quality. After setting up your camera, you can move back to the Animation Workspace. First, there are a few basic things to know about the Animation Workspace. On the top left corner you find the number of the next picture which will be captured. At the bottom you see the timeline, and in central position the number of the shot you are looking at right now. Something else you may notice are the borders around the video. Red indicates live view, blue shows that the camera is disconnected, and no border means that you are looking at an existing, already shot frame. When you move around the cursor on the screen, the floating toolpad appears. Different options and settings can be controlled with it. Back to the timeline. After selecting a frame you can simply drag and drop them from one place to another. When you put it onto another frame, this one is going to be replaced. Keep in mind to always do the grabbing motion upwards. It is also possible to insert the camera icon at another place in the timeline to perhaps recapture bad frames. For real planning on stop motion capturing, there is the so-called X-sheet available. By clicking the little icon on the bottom right you can open the X-sheet bar. Here you can take notes for every frame and set alerts for specific notes before capturing them. At last, there is also the possibility to change the frame rate. You can do this by clicking under the timeline on the right side on the current frame rate. One functionality that is really needed for stop motion is onion scan. It shows the difference between the frame you are on right now and the live view, and that makes it easier to rearrange the things you use for stop motion, as you can see. Finally, we move to the Arc Motion Control workspace, where you can control the slider. This workspace consists of 7 areas: the velocity graph, position graph, the workspace tools, axis controls, live view, keyframe lists, and motor control. At first, we check the connection of the slider with Dragonframe. When you are not automatically connected, you must follow the next steps. So go to Scene, then Connections. When you're already connected, you're fine. If not, go by clicking Add Connection. Choose device DFMOCO Arduino and select the location, which will be one USB port, and hit Connect. When connecting doesn't work out, check your cable setup or restart Dragonframe to avoid this problem. Now you can add the 3 axes of the slider. To add one axis, click on the Add Axis icon. You must start with the slider itself, followed by pan and tilt. This order is required, or it doesn't work out. Give the axis a name and choose the right slide camera's preset. You most likely must scroll down a bit to find them. In the end, don't change something else and hit OK. The axis has now been added in the axis control area. If you want, you can add several axes the same way. Remember, after adding the slider, you must add the pan first, then the tilt. To move every axis, there are controls on the left side of the keyframes. With these, you can jog or inch the motors, so move them fast or slow to get in the position you want. You can add keyframes to all axes or to only one. You can choose between different keyframe styles found on the right side above the keyframe list. Most likely you can stick to the first one, which is automatically set. To step through a move, you can use the motor controls. The most important features are that you can move between the previous and the next keyframe, and run a move test to look how a kinda like motion control ride with stop motion attitude would be. It also enables to move the slider back to the first position to start. When you are ready to capture, you just need to click on the first button at the top of the motor controls and switch back to the Animation Workspace to capture your pictures. The slider will now move with every shot you take. To capture in live view mode, hit Enter. To play back your current frame, hit the spacebar. After capturing every frame for your stop-motion video, you still need to export it. To do so, go to File and then Export Movie. Make sure that your source contains the high-res pictures, the scale should be on minimum Full HD, and the movie type is set to the compression you want. Hit Export and you are done. Thanks for watching. You might also want to check out our other videos.